Some of the most terrifying things happen to us when we're a child. This story is about that very thing. If you've had any experiences like this, send them to me and I will read them. Thank you for watching, and please enjoy. I'll never forget this. My name is Jerry, and I have never told this story to the internet before. Everything I've said in this story is 100% true and terrifying. I used to have a good friend named Matthew. He lived next door to my grandparents' house. Matthew and I would do a bunch of things together. We played games from Halo to Call of Duty and watched movies and TV, but the one thing that we were into the most was the paranormal. Matthew got me hooked on this ghost hunt show called Ghost Adventures. We would watch this show all the time. Then one day, after one episode, we decided that we would be ghost investigators. We really liked that idea. We were 10, so that idea has been since lost to us. But we really were into the whole ghost hunt idea at the time. We didn't know exactly where to start. We always watched lots of ghost videos to learn more about the paranormal and how to investigate it. However, these videos were merely tutorials, and we still didn't have an idea on where to start. But then a couple of days later, I overheard my grandpa talking about something that had happened one night. He claimed to see a dark figure of a man looking right at him and disappear through his door. I thought this would be a good break for us to start, but whenever I would start an investigation, nothing would happen. I just sat in the dark waiting for something. There was only disappointment. But I never gave up. One day after we got off school, Matthew and I went back to my grandparents' house. I told Matthew what my grandpa had said, and he told me we should do an investigation. However, I told him that I tried that before, but it would never work when I investigated it. But he still insisted that we do it, believing that maybe we'll find something this time. I told him okay, and we went upstairs and started the investigation. I grabbed my camcorder so we could record. We didn't record much as we didn't find anything odd, but we did start recording everything eventually. We asked the same questions every paranormal investigator asked, like, is anyone here, or give us a sign that you are here. But we never did catch any voices. I was just about to give up, but then all of a sudden I looked over and saw that Matthew had a horrified look on his face. I asked him what was wrong, but he responded with, "Run." I asked why, but he yelled, "Dude, run!" again, and he pushed me out. We ran out of the room and I dropped the camcorder. We went all the way downstairs and I asked him why the hell he wanted us to run, and then he told me that he saw a dark figure in my grandparents' mirror standing right behind us. I felt my heart drop as he said that. Then my Uncle Jake asked us why we were running upstairs. We told him what had just happened, but as typical, he didn't believe us. We told him to watch the video we were recording, but Matthew remembered that he had dropped the camera when we ran out of the room. I felt nervous at that point. If what he said was true, then that means that someone or something is up there and could possibly be a dark entity. It took me a moment to build the courage to go back up there to retrieve the camera to show my uncle. Unfortunately, the camera never caught a dark figure standing behind us, and I was going to show him the rest of that recording when we ran out, but Matthew had stopped recording when he told me to run. So no evidence meant no believability. However, I did find out later from my grandmother that my dad and uncle had a friend who used to live in the house, but when they moved, he committed suicide. I was shocked when she told me that, and it kind of scared me a bit, so we stopped investigating there for a while. I really wish the story had ended there, but I was too stubborn to stop. I wanted to catch something on camera so I could prove it. So I took the camcorder and put it in front of my grandparents' bedroom door. I left it there for a good 30 minutes before I heard a loud slam upstairs. I went to retrieve the camera and reviewed the footage. What I saw on the camera gave me goosebumps. The footage showed my grandpa's door open slowly and violently slammed shut. Now after that happened, I figured it was time to stop investigating altogether. But it didn't end there either. 5 years had passed and I had been experiencing multiple paranormal activities, once at my mom's house and my dad's house. At my mom's house, my dogs Otis and Deuce always barked and growled at something in the house or at the window. Then one night when I was sleeping, my game and DVD cases were knocked over in the middle of the night, waking me up. At my dad's house, I was recording a gaming video for my YouTube channel and accidentally left it on overnight. When I was editing the footage, I came across the footage of my room when I was asleep, and I was seeing these glowing orbs of light passing by the camera multiple times. These orbs are what we believe to be spirits manifesting themselves. Sure, these claims may not be paranormal, but definitely were creepy. But none of those events compared to what happened next. In the late summer of 2016, I was at my dad's house alone all night. My dad worked at Ford, so he would always be taking night shifts, and I would be home alone most of the time that I was there. I basically watched TV and then live streamed Outlast Whistleblower. But then at 11 p.m. I heard something outside, and it sounded like someone was walking up my steps outside on the front porch. I knew it wasn't my dad because he had left an hour ago for work and he wouldn't leave work until 6 a.m. I got a little worried. I got my 2 dogs, George and Zayla. I also grabbed a knife out of the kitchen. When I looked outside, I couldn't see anyone because the window was fogged up, so I opened the door to find nobody. I was confused. Why would someone walk up my steps then leave? I thought it was just my imagination and I forgot about it. I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning before I decided to go to sleep. I slept on the couch in the living room with my dogs. Then around 3 a.m. I heard a loud tap in the hallway. I shrugged it off as nothing and went back to bed. Then less than a minute later, I heard a loud tap coming from behind the TV in the living room. I got a little worried. I thought we had a mouse or something. I heard another tapping sound coming from the hallway. At this point, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I thought to myself, what the hell is happening? Is this just me hearing things? No, it can't be. The dogs are reacting to it as well. Then I peered down the hallway and I saw it. I saw a dark, shadowy figure shaped like a man peeking in the doorframe of my dad's room and staring at me. I was petrified for a moment. I was certain that someone had broken into my house. I looked back at the figure, then quickly it pulled away into the room. I retrieved the knife from earlier and went into my dad's room. He wasn't in sight. I checked under the bed and checked the closet. Nothing. Nobody was in the room. My dad's room is small. There isn't really anywhere to hide in there. I know I couldn't have been imagining stuff because my dogs heard the tapping noise and reacted to the figure as well. In the morning, I told my dad everything and he surprisingly believed me. He told me that he had been hearing and seeing stuff like that in the house as well. I'm not sure who or what I saw, but piecing all the stories that I've experienced together, it started to make sense. Was it the same dark figure Matthew and my grandpa saw? Maybe. Has it somehow latched itself onto me when I showed interest in it and has been haunting me for the past 5 years? Possibly, but I can't be sure. You may think that I continue to experience stuff like this. No. Besides, from the unusual knocking and taps in my house, that was it. 3 years have passed and nothing like that has happened again. Will it eventually? Maybe. But I certainly hope it doesn't.